Greetings, community. It's Kevin of NCBD Comics, and I'm here to bring you another edition of Kevin's most anticipated reads tomorrow for New Comic Book Day, 7/26, 2023. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by, and as always, appreciate you just hanging out with me on the day of and or on the day of New Comic Book Day. Now, this list is a little bit longer than normal. However, we're going to blow right through this thing. And the cool thing is there's a lot of new books and a lot of books that I've been anticipating for a while because they're just totally different reads or reads that have been kind of finalizing and have been really, really good. So that being stated, let's kind of move right into it by starting with Sumerian Comics. Been a while since this has been out. Now, this is a volume 3 of You Never Promised Me Darkness. That was the first one, and then it did another one. Forgot what that darkness one was, and then but we got Children of the Comet, and really that's what the majority of the story revolves around. I've been looking forward to this because I like the whole Damien Conley stuff, and the art is really, really cool and different. So again, Sumerian Comics, Children of the Comet, issue number 1, coming out tomorrow, New Comic Book Day, 7/26, 2023. Let's move over to Fantagraphics. This is going to bring us Red Room, Cryptic Killers, issue number 3. Now, this also is a 3rd volume, if I recall. If not, maybe 4th. Anyways, cool thing is about this whole Red Room thing is it just gives you just wild and trippy insight into a world that we hope doesn't exist, but no, it probably does. Now, it being as surreal as it is and as sickening as it is, it offers a lot of, again, like I say, odd and oddity insight into what led, I guess, up into these Red Room theoretical stories, and some of the history that of snuff films and some of the hardcore porn stuff and so forth. That it touches on so many of those aspects that it's both really oddly interesting because of the amount of history that has been before it, going all the way back to like Marquis de Sade, some of the most famous individuals, and what we've seen up until recently, and unfortunately knowing that is probably happening in the underground. So Red Room is just one of those books that fascinates me, and I hate myself for saying it at times. So moving on for the whole Red Room, Cryptic Killers, issue number 3. We're going to go over to IDW and talk about TMNT / Usagi Yojimbo, Where When, issue number 5. Now, this finishes it out of the miniseries. And the cool thing about these miniseries that both TMNT have been doing, and whenever Usagi Yojimbo Stan Sakai jumps in with anybody else, it's just a pleasure and a treat to see how the two meld together. And again, Stan Sakai, if you're not interested, or not interested, if you haven't ever had any interest in his writing, I do highly recommend it, because not only is it for all ages, but it's a treat to see someone that has been writing for as many years as he has still also being acknowledged in the comic community by, again, just recently receiving another Eisner for his works. So it's amazing to see such great work, and again, the stories are really awesome, so I highly recommend them. TMNT, Usagi Yojimbo, Where When, issue number 5. Moving out from the IDW side, we're going to cruise over to Titan Books. I expect my son to be rushing through that door any moment. The reason why is, well, this almost made my most anticipated read, but definitely made my son's. The reason why is Dead by Daylight, issue number 2, is one of those books that offer you not only an insight and story into a game that's really popular, but they also give you gaming codes that aid, assist, nothing more than a trinket to kind of wear on your costume a lot in your game. So it offers a little bit more, not only to the story of both on the game and in the comic book, but something a little bit extra for the individual that is reading and or playing the game itself. Moving up from there, we're going to cruise over to, well, hey, appreciate you being here, buddy. Where was I? Oh, yeah, over on the image side. The reason why is I'm going to talk about a book I initially forgot, which is World Tree. And there's the man. Yeah, I just talked about it, Kai. So
How did
yeah,
I finish eating a cookie with that guy?
Dead by Daylight issue number 2 is the book that he's definitely been waiting
Oh,
for.
did I actually just come in time? Or
Well, right after I did say that. So yeah,
Oh.
he's definitely waiting for that. We might end up having to go to the store tomorrow and picking up the book just so he can get the code. Not only we're waiting on the code for that, but we'll be waiting on our pre-order for the next month.
I'm asking him. He thinks it's only one. We're on the debate of whether it's one code per cover or one code per issue. I got to do research.
There's no way it's a code per issue. He thinks that
if it's per cover, that's
there'd be like 26,000 or more different codes.
Yeah. You know it. Dead by Daylight's huge. What?
All right, moving on from that, moving up from the Titan books of Dead by Daylight issue number 2 coming out. We got Image Comics cruising out with Firepower issue number 25. Seriously, we've waited almost a year for this, but hey, I don't know if you knew this, but the story really didn't end. It's pretty close. Where we're at is, well, the battle was won, but the war wasn't. So there's still like a dragon out there. There's still stuff to be had. So that's why I'm dying to get into this thing again. Firepower issue number 25 out tomorrow.
I've been meaning to read Firepower, but how much would I have to read by now?
Well, 2 years worth. The cool thing about it is it's not nearly as wordy as most Kirkman books. You'll rip right through it.
That's what I do remember that you said it was.
It's all so much kung fu going on, so much action going on that you'll rip through that thing like no time at all. Highly recommend it. If not, hey, like Tony always says, Old Wolf, get the train. Seriously, you'll love it. All right, moving on from Firepower issue number 25. We're going to talk about Per Evil issue number 1. That's a Miracle and Doffel book. Miracle and Doffel, dude. That, well, has this weird, interesting storyline that I'm not really going to try to tell too much about because I couldn't understand it. Though it does revolve around a daughter and a mother, it revolves other individuals inside just like a hotel or whatever. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to jumping into this. It looks really interesting. Multiple storyline, kind of one of those onion things. So hey, moving on from the Image Comics and Per Evil issue number 1, we're going to talk about Boom Studios Alice Never After issue number 1. This is a Dan Panosian book, and this is actually a second volume of Alice Ever After. Now I don't know if it's a kind of a standalone book, and I love the first volume. It was freaking awesome, and I talked to Dan about this thing, and it was so much what I always envisioned Alice being, anyways, a hardcore drug addict hallucinating, that I'm just glad someone wrote it. So I'm curious to see after the first volume how this is going to work in. I think the family's trying to rip her off. Anyways, Alice Never After, issue number 1. This is like a second volume off down Ever After. And if you already read the first, highly recommend the second. Moving out from there, we're going to cruise over to, well, appreciate you being here, dude. Nice and fine. Where was I? Oh, Berserker. Seriously, Berserker has a one-shot called poetry. I'm not going to try it. Berserker has another issue that's out, and it's a one-shot. And the cool thing about this is the art's there, story's there, and it's just augmenting already an awesome story. And I think we're going to get a couple more of these things down the road. Keanu Reeves was teasing some of this type of stuff. So I think in the meantime of him actually working on the animation, he's been over at Boom Studios talking about more one-shots. I expect 2 more. We'll see what happens. But hey, the one that we're looking for comes out tomorrow. And I almost was about to say it. But hey, it starts with poetry. Berserker issue number 1 from Boom Studios coming out tomorrow. All right. And the final one from Boom is Click, Click, Boom. Seriously, issue number 2. I'm a huge fan of Doug Wagner. I really like his writing, and the way he does this twisted horror is awesome because I find myself interested on how I would love to almost do an interview on how he's choosing all these aspects, meaning the plastic, the plush, the vinyl. What's making you choose these articles, these I don't know, these tangible products? What? Seriously? How are you coming up with these? Anyways, Click, Click, Boom, issue number 2. The story about this is a mute that wants to seek revenge. Her individual that was kind of taking care of her got murdered, and she's going to take out the individual, took out this individual. Communicates through Polaroids because, like I said, it's a mute. Really interesting. But click, click, boom, issue number 2. That's all I have to say. Coming out from Boom. Moving over to the Marvel side, we're going to talk about Amazing Spider-Man issue number 30. They're teasing some stuff on this that I don't think is really going to transpire, though. I have been reading this Amazing Spider-Man. They're teasing that a whole new ally is supposed to appear. The one I think everyone is assuming is going to happen in issue number 30. Don't worry, it's happening in issue number 31. If you're just specking on this. But if you're reading it, hey, like I am, this is kind of cool. I think we're going to resolve a few things in this. It's supposed to be wacky, it's supposed to be dopey, and it's supposed to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Seriously. Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 30. All right, moving out from Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 30, we're going to talk about Cult of Carnage, Misery, issue number 3. I love this new symbiote, and I think she's cool. The fact that we get more family-based symbiote stuff, literally, is very interesting because the dynamic of this and well, I mean, it's kind of obvious by now. We're a few issues deep in all this, and her son is really something that we haven't had to deal with since we've talked about Brock and his son. Totally different situations, though. There's hard to draw any correlation between the two, other than the fact that there's some correlation between the two. And that's about it. All right, moving out from Cult of Carnage, issue number 3, we're going to talk about Danny Ketch, Ghost Rider issue number 3. I'm a huge Ketch fan. Of the Ghost Riders is actually one of my favorite. But the fact that we actually get 2 Ghost Rider ongoing stories, where I think this is going to be a limited, is good by me. Seriously, being that I get my Danny Ketch as storylines and I get my regular ongoing story, it works. So Danny Ketch, issue number 3, coming out tomorrow for New Comic Book Day, 7/26/2023. Moving out from that Ghost Rider to the ongoing Ghost Rider, issue number 16. I'm a little behind on some of these Ghost Riders, and if you may saw that on the pre-order Kai and I received, yeah, it was like 140 some odd books. I'm 2 months behind. That's yeah. I'm reading like a fool. So yeah, it doesn't mean that I ain't anticipating. I can't wait to get to it. I just got to get through 14 and 15 first. So Ghost Rider issue number 16 coming out tomorrow. Moving out for Ghost Rider issue number 16, we're going to talk about Hallows Eve, issue number 5. This finishes out this miniseries, and Hallows Eve has actually been one of my top favorite new characters to come out this year. Along with Spider-Boy, she's right in there, probably with my top 5 of new characters that have come out this year. I dig this character. The reason why is any character that can go ahead and put on a new mask and take on a new persona and then realize that there is a price to pay every time you throw that on, or something that you might, in a disciplined way, have to hold back, doesn't allow you to use something as an attribute as more of a crutch. It's a wild story that I really have been enjoying. And the fact that it's wrapping up here, I just know that there's going to be more. There's no way they're getting rid of Hallows Eve. This is a character that's going to be around for a while, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. So Hallows Eve, issue number 5, coming out tomorrow, New Comic Book Day. We're going to move over from Hallows Eve. We're going to talk about Incredible Hulk, issue number 2. This almost made my most anticipated read. Not only are we getting some decent explanation on what transpired in the last volume that happened, that most of us were kind of scratching our head and going, what the shit is going on? But the beauty is we're getting a monster I think we all fell in love with and are deathly scared of. This Hulk version is a Hulk version I believe most people appreciate. And the fact that this writer is doing more than justice with this character leaves everybody chomping on the bit. So seriously, this almost made my anticipated read. Hulk issue number 2 is nothing but just pure awesomeness. The writing, the art, the presentation, the explanation. Freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. However, those of you who know me well. And those of you who know me well, you could probably tell me to go to a certain place. But my most anticipated read, my Blue Light special, is Venom issue number 23. I'm a symbiote slut. What do you expect? Seriously. What do they do? Just smoke on the camera? No. My Blue Light special. Oh, you know what? That would offer a good effect. I'm going to have to probably throw in a fogger. Wouldn't that be cool? My Blue Light Special is issue number 23 of Venom. We're supposed to be getting a new symbiote. Marvel's been very generous of late with symbiotes. They've kind of been like Oprah. You get a symbiote and you get a symbiote. Reach under your chair because, hey, you never know what you might have underneath there. It's been kind of cool because we get a new symbiote. And the beauty is, I was told this like 30 years ago, symbiotes was going to be kind of the new mutants. Almost seems that way, as many as they're out there. We're getting cool storylines. We're getting cool mutants. I'm getting stories that I love. And I guess they're just selling me on stuff that I look for. Doesn't matter. I know a lot of people are looking at this book, not just in a spec way, but it's been ramping up to something. And I know by issue 25, it's going to be a whole lot of somethings. We're seeing a whole lot, especially like I was just mentioning, between Misery, Red Goblin, Dylan. We're getting some Ultimate stuff's happening and Superior stuff's happening. It's wild stuff happening during this summer of symbiotes. And again, my most anticipated read, Venom 23. And that's it from me, Entropy. Appreciate you being here.